What is up, guys, and welcome to a new sort of video. I'm going to do a discussion on something that I think needs to change in Battlefront 2 when the full game launches. Obviously, the beta's been this weekend, extended until Wednesday, but there have been some things that definitely need to be improved upon. And one of those things is the battle point system, and not the system itself and how you earn them. I think that's very good, and I think that works really well. But how much each reinforcement should cost, because some of these things are way overpriced for what they're actually going to get you, and some of these reinforcements are actually completely useless when you get them and not worth spending any points on whatsoever. So we're going to get into that, and starting off with the heroes. Now, I actually think that the heroes are perfectly priced at the moment, which is contrary to most of the reinforcements that I'm going to talk about later. But start off with heroes. 5,000 is a very achievable goal, so it doesn't mean that you have to be the best at the game to get 5,000 at one point in the game, at one point in each match. And I think they're powerful enough at the moment. And yes, 5,000 is just a perfect amount to reward good players to getting what they like, a lot of extra damage done and extra points that you get for it in battle. Next up is the ATRT, which you might not have even seen this around in a map because they're extremely rare to come across and they barely get picked. And that they are tiny little walkers that one man can sit on top of and go around. So it's like a miniature ATST, and it's called an ATRT. And it's 3,500 battle points. And that is just a massive waste, because they're not even... By the time you get to 3,500, on Naboo at least, you're going to be almost inside the palace anyway, where they become really useless and they'll get taken down easily. And it's just a waste of time. I reckon you could get 5... On a good run with it, you'll get 5 kills. But if someone comes up behind you, you're going to die straight away. And again, 3,500 is just a waste of stuff. It should be, what I think is, it should be 2,000 max. If that's the build that gets into the game, the type of like damage and health it has, then 2,000 should really be the maximum that you're going to have to pay for this, because you're going to want to get it early in the game to have any sort of impact. And by that, you don't want to have it to be extremely expensive, because then you're not going to get to it, and it's just going to be a waste of time. Next up is the Starfighters, and this is from experience on Naboo, which, while it does have a very open central area, it's very difficult to get your Starfighters into the roads at the side, and those pathways, the channels. So what I would say is that none more than 1,000, maybe 1,500 if it's a really good bomber or something. But I just don't think that they're being used that much, and they could be it'll be very interesting to have more ships in the sky, and to do that you've got to lower the number of battle points so more people are willing to go for it. And now the LAAT gunship, which honestly should cost 0 battle points, shouldn't cost anything if they're going to stick with the laser being the primary weapon. If you've played the Rogue One DLC for Star Wars Battlefront, the EAs in 2015, then you'll see that there was a U-Wing power-up that you could get, and that gave you a minigun, and it was the same sort of thing. It would fly around the map automatically, and at least with that you could get a couple kills. It's basically impossible to get kills with the laser in the gunship on Naboo, at least, because we've got experience from that. But it needs a gun with at least some spread damage or something where you can fire down and you don't have to be pinpoint accurate to get any kills. And now what I call the heavy reinforcements, that's the Wookiee Warrior and the Flame Trooper, and I think they should be 2,500 points, because they do quite a lot, especially in Strike. They're going to get you many points. But what they need is a buff. The Wookiee, only a little bit. But the Flame Trooper needs a massive buff. You'll notice if you've played it at all, you're gonna lose way more health than you're gonna give out damage when you use the Flame Trooper if you come on a one-on-one confrontation, and it's really not worth it at the moment. So if that gets a buff, which it needs to have in the full game, then 2,500 is the ideal price, especially for smaller game modes such as Strike. And now, almost finally, it's the Jet Trooper, or the Rocket Trooper if you're a Rebel, or the B2 rocket droid. if you're obviously the separatists, and I think that should be 2,000 points because, as yes, it has the mobility and it has a lot more mobility compared to the the heavy reinforcements, but the damage output at least shouldn't be as high. I mean, it is compared to the flame trooper at the moment, but it really shouldn't be with the normal gun or the pistol. And 2,000 is perfect for game modes like Strike, where you're gonna get damage. Some people will prefer it, but there shouldn't be too many on the Battlefront at the same time. So 2,000 is the ideal thing to utilize and that is what I think the prices for each reinforcement and how much battle points you should have to spend on them is. If I've missed any out, let me know in the comments below, and I'll go over it in a future video. I'll add them in just at the end of one. But I'll have another discussion coming in on what I think about having weapons from all eras, and how I think you can integrate them in without it really standing out. For example, the First Order really obviously standing out when a droid's holding it. But anyway, thank you for watching this video, subscribe for more, leave a like on this video, and I'll see you next time.